Hello students, today we will see rate of growth of functions. Suppose M is an algorithm and N is the size of input data. Then the complexity of the algorithm, that is represented as f of n, it increases as the value of n increases. We know that if there are 10 elements, the complexity will be less when compared to if there are 100 elements. That is, if the input size increases, the complexity also increases because it needs more time for execution and more storage space also needed. And the complexity is measured in terms of time and space. Usually, f of n will be some standard function such as log n to the base 2, n log n to the base 2, n, n square, n cube, 2 raised to n, etc. Usually, these are the standard representations for the complexity of an algorithm. Log n log n, n square, n cube, and 2 raised to n. Now we will see a table regarding these values. Suppose we have n as 5. That means we have 5 inputs. Then if an algorithm has the complexity log n, then it will take 3 comparisons. Usually we represent searching and sorting algorithms and its complexity. In searching and sorting algorithms, we use the main operation as comparison operation. That is, log n represents the number of comparisons. For example, if it is a sorting algorithm, this means that it takes 3 comparisons for sorting 5 numbers. If the complexity is n, then it takes 5 comparisons for 5 numbers. If it is n log n, then it will be 3 into 5, that is 15. If it is n square, then it will be 5 square, that is 25. N cube will be 125 and 2 raised to n will be 32. Another example is if we have n is equal to 10. That means we have 10 inputs. Then the value of log n will be 4. N will be 10. N log n will be 10 into 4, that is 40. N square will be 10 square, that is equal to 100. N cube will be 1000. And 2 raised to n will be 10 cube, etc. So, from this table, we know that an algorithm, the most efficient algorithm will be having the complexity log n because it needs less number of operations for the corresponding number of inputs. That is, the shortest or the smallest value is log n. That means this will be the best algorithm which takes log n operations. And the worst one will be n cube, that is 125 for if the number of inputs is 5. Now we will see some of the notations used for representing the complexity of an algorithm, and it is known as asymptotic notations. There are many asymptotic notations to represent the complexity of algorithms. And the most commonly or widely used representation is big O notation, which is represented as capital letter O. The big O notation defines the upper bound of an algorithm, that is, it bounds a function only from above. Upper bound means it takes the worst condition. That is, it describes the worst case scenario. It can be used to describe the execution time required or the space taken by an algorithm. We know that the complexity or the efficiency of an algorithm depends on the space taken and the time for execution. And we have seen three types of representing, that is worst case is there, best case is there, and average case is there. Big O notation represents the worst case. That is for a linear search algorithm. If the element to be searched is the last element, then it is the worst case. So big O notation will represent the worst case scenario. Now we will see the formal definition of big O notation. For that, we take two functions f of n and g of n, which are defined on positive integers. And f of n is bounded by some multiple of g of n for almost all n. So f of n and g of n has a connection. That is, f of n will be bounded by some multiple of g of n. And here we take a positive integer n0 and a positive number capital letter M, such that n is always greater than n0. That is, the value of the number of inputs will be always greater than n0. Then the big O notation we represent as f of n is less than or equal to m dot g of n. That is, if we have the function f of n is less than or equal to m dot g of n. M means it is a positive number and g of n is a positive function defined as on a positive integer. Then we can write as f of n equal to order of g of n, capital O. That is big O of g of n, and it is read as f of n is of order g of n. That is, for this, the condition used is f of n is less than or equal to m dot g of n, where f of n and g of n are two positive, are functions defined on positive integers, and m is a positive integer. And n0 be the positive integer which is less than n. And the next one is omega notation, and we use omega simple for that. And big omega, this is used to give a lower bound for the growth of a function. That is, it takes the best case. So big O notation takes the worst case and big omega represents the best case, that is the lower bound. And it is also defined as the same way as big O notation, but with the inequality sign turned around, and it takes the best case. So we will see the formal definition of big omega or omega notation. Here everything is same as that of big O notation. That is, f of n and g of n are functions which are defined on positive integers, and f of n is bounded by some multiple of g of n, and we take n0 as a positive integer and m as a positive number, and then n will be always greater than n0. Here the difference is the function is written as f of n is greater than or equal to m dot g of n. In big O notation, we had f of n less than or equal to m dot g of n, and here f of n is greater than or equal to m of g of n. In that case, we can write it as f of n equal to omega of g of n, which is read as f of n is omega of g of n. So there is only one difference, that is the simple used here. In big O notation, it was less than or equal to. All other things are formal definition. Everything is same. And in omega notation, this is greater than or equal to. This is the only difference. And instead of O, here we use omega notation. And the third notation is theta notation, which is represented as using the symbol theta. It is used when the function f of n is bounded both from above and below by the function g of n. That can be considered as an average case. That is, it is between the lower bound and the upper bound. Here also it is almost the same. That is, f of n and g of n are functions defined on positive integers, and f of n is bounded by some multiple of g of n. And here we take two positive constants c1 and c2 and n0 as a positive integer. and the condition is n is greater than n0. Everything is same. Here only the difference is we take two constants C1 and C2, and the condition for theta notation is C1 g of n is less than or equal to f of n, less than or equal to C2 g of n. That is, the function or the complexity will be between C1 g of n and C2 g of n. In that case, we can write f of n is equal to theta of g of n, which is read as f of n is the theta of g of n. That is, here it will be between the lower bound and the upper bound. That is C1 of g of n and C2 of g of n. The function f of n will be between these, and then in that case we can represent it using theta notation. That is, function g of n is both an upper bound and lower bound for the function f of n. F of n is such that f of n is equal to order of g of n, which represents the upper bound, and f of n equal to omega of g of n, that is the lower bound. So f of n will be in between these two values. It can take the upper bound as well as the lower bound. This O represents, that is big O notation. This represents the upper bound and this represents the lower bound. And this is theta notation. One more notation is there, that is little o notation, which is represented as small letter o. This is almost same as the theta notation, that is f of n is equal to order of g of n, and it is read as f of n is little o of g of n. In that case, the only difference is f of n is equal to order of g of n. That is, the upper bound is there, but here the lower bound is not there. That is, f of n is not equal to omega of g of n. Here, the difference was f of n equal to order of g of n and f of n equal to omega of g of n. In small o notation, first part is same, f of n equal to order of g of n, but the second part is not equal. That is, f of n is not equal to omega of g of n. That is the difference. And these are the notations used for representing the complexity of a function, and we have three main notations and a small letter o, that is four notations we can say. Four notations are there, and these notations are known as asymptotic notations. And asymptotic notations, it is represented as a function f of n. Big O is the commonly used representation which takes the upper bound or the worst case, and it is represented as f of n is less than or equal to m dot g of n. That is, f of n equal to order of g of n. Then we have the omega notation which takes the best case or the lower bound. In that case, f of n is greater than or equal to m dot g of n. In that case, we can say f of n equal to omega of g of n. And theta notation uses the upper bound as well as the lower bound. So, if C1 and C2 are two constants, positive constants, then f of n will be between C1 g of n and C2 g of n. In that case, we can say f of n equal to theta of g of n. And the last notation is small o notation. In small o notations, f of n is equal to order of g of n. That is, it takes the upper bound, but it will not take the lower bound. And these are the asymptotic notations used for calculating the complexity of an algorithm or the efficiency of an algorithm. Thank you.